Alright, sorry. Okay, today's demo is on how to kind of start to sculpt the different areas of relief onto your tile. Once you've sort of like built on the different areas of relief, you want to just start by using your finger to get those planes. If at any point you feel like you're trying to add clay onto a dry surface or more of a dry surface, you need to use something called slip. So the slip is in this little container with a lid, and it's basically vinegar and clay. And what you want to do is scratch the surface. Now, if the clay that you're attaching is the same wetness as the clay you're attaching it to, you don't even have to worry about this step. But if it's not, then you want to just add some of that. Now, what you can do is just take your needle tool and get off some of that extra clay that you don't need. You can also use a fettling knife that's in the back of the room. But for now, I notice that most of us are just still working on adding our areas of relief. And, you know, turn your tile. Abby, can you get me a cup of water? Thanks. Now, normally I don't suggest that you add water to your tile at all, because water evaporates and then your tile surface can crack. Notice this antler. I carved it with my needle tool. Thank you. I carved it with my needle tool, and look at how it doesn't look mushy like what I carved with my finger, or what I piled on with my finger. Once you have the areas of relief, you really want to take a needle tool and start carving off or carving angles that make sense into your clay. I might use a fettling knife for the top of the nose to get that straight angle going back into space. If you have anything that tapers off, say like a branch, and you want it to kind of exit the tile surface, one thing that you can do is get a cup of water. Now, I'm not adding it to the face of my tile. I'm going to use it to like thin out the thickness of my clay here for the antler. It's already been scratched and attached. Antlers taper. Now, you might have a wing or a leg of an animal or something that gets really thin, and that kind of sticks forward or sticks out off your tile surface. Look at this. I've got this antler. So, like, turn around and take a look at the screen if you can't see it, and look at this, the back of this antler. Well, Miss West, an antler isn't that thick. Why would you do that? Why would you leave all of that clay here? Who can guess? That's right. It won't fall off. Anything real thin is just going to break. So if you have like skinny legs on your animal or your bird, I'm going to say that for the class that's doing birds, and those legs are sticking off, you know, if they're a lower number and they're kind of sticking off the tile surface, you'll need to build off the back of the tile. You'll need to build up the clay surface on the face of your tile to support that skinny little area. Otherwise, it's just going to break off. Now, if you don't like the way that looks, or if it's starting to look bulky from the side or whatever, when your tile is a little almost complete, you can take a very sharp fettling knife, or I would actually suggest, I'll put some out, X-Acto blades, and carve out the back. So you still have some support, but it just kind of gives the illusion of thinning out. Now, if I gave this tile back to Abby after thinning this out, she'd put it in the plastic bag with a damp paper towel over it, and it would just guaranteed break right off. So just keep that stuff in mind. And when you get to the point where you feel like you've done everything you can with your kind of like your needle tool, I have a variety of wooden knives, and these are pointy but not, of course, as sharp as a needle tool, and it has a back end that's sort of like your finger shape. I've got a few that are smaller as well that you could try out. This really gives you a nice edge. Your transition from your animal to your tile is very important. So you can kind of decide artistically where that's going to end. We're not going to put any texture in today, or tomorrow and the next day for that matter. We're just going to really take our time. So by texture, I mean fur, eyes, anything like that. We're just going to take the next 3 days or so, depending on testing, it might be longer if we have makeup testing next week, to just get these varied areas of relief. Now, at some point I'm stuck, and I have my side view. My side view really kind of tells me the angle of the nose, that some of these antlers, in her case, some of these antlers could come out towards me if I wanted to. Artistic kind of license allows me not to do that if I don't want to. I was right in guessing the ear was behind the antler. Good. So I'm going to have her just carve in that ear into the surface of the tile, but we'll do that after when we talk about texture. Okay. How far back is the eye from the nose? You know, there's the nose, the ear, and then the eye. It's about halfway, but I'm not going to make it, but I could put a little line there to just let me know. I'm really going to just work on angles. I'm not going to work on hollowing out the nostrils yet. That'll be later when we do detail. I'm going to suggest to this artist that she maybe try to get a printout that's a little lighter so we can see what the neck looks like. Maybe her eyesight's better than mine, but I can't really see what the jaw or the neck looks like on here because of the lighting. It's a beautiful picture, though. And then it's also telling me that the chest is a lot further back than I thought it was. It just really slopes back in space. So the side view is for really there to help us with all of that depth. And that's it. So we're going to be working on this, just this part, at least through Wednesday next week. Okay? Thanks.